Hi everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles as we lift off once again and put ourselves right on top of that wave that's even on top of our elevated platform of living. And as we do that, it happens automatically. It's a place beyond all places. It's where we work from. It's where we live. But in the everyday world, we don't have a place for it. And that's what I'm about to talk about. That most elevated position hasn't been given a position in the everyday world because it's bigger than it. It's much more simple, much more elegant. So the only way you can get it to be part of your life is to increase the size of the physical world around you. It has to grow and include everything, everyone, every colour, every sense, every fly, and everything that comes into your life. And that's the only way you'll have a position for that elevated platform and the wave of excellence on top of it. We're about to actually demonstrate all that to the world. We've all made a commitment in our own way to do that. And one of the biggest commitments is to actually make it appear in the physical world. And none of us have got a clue what we're doing. We think. In fact, the only thing that's needed is you. Not what you do or how you do it. So if you make a place in the universe and allow the physical world to grow to have the same essence, you've done it. And then you can commit to everything. Bringing your gifts into the world to look after everyone on a physical level and every other level. Undefined perfection in everything. And the commitment is part of your world. So you don't have to make a place for that in the physical world. That general commitment is one that we've always had. But it's too big to fit the life that we've been leading. And so we increase the life, increase the enjoyment of it, spread our wings, jump off tall buildings in a single bound, like Superman. Do all the stupid things that come with everyday involvement in magic. But the key behind it all is to grow that life and grow it to where it's acceptable on that wave that's above your elevated platform of living. The biggest thing that determines that you're on top of the wave is that the events of the world and the events that come into your life do not disturb your life. They disturb the sequence of your life, but they don't disturb your life. We're about to see many changes in many areas, and we all know that. And it's nice to be able to define a few. But the definition is what kills them. So as you allow everything to grow, your definition has to become flexible. It has to stretch beyond all the things that you've known in the past. Beyond that means, or do you mean, or are you saying? Stretch beyond that and receive what's delivered in that unwritten language that we all know about. So you feel the exuberance in how somebody's putting something across and know that that's actually the rest of the signal. There's a big difference between hearing a word or a description come across as a mechanized voice and one that comes from a human. And one again that comes from a very special human being that is elevated beyond all belief. Each one of them has a different message. The first one's a message from a definition in the dictionary. The second one is an interpretation of that definition with some either excitement or attitude. And the third one is beyond belief. It actually tells you the whole story. It allows you to experience something that you never experienced before. So this is the commitment that each one of us has for this world. Not to take that exuberance and put it into an unused hole in the ground, but to bring it to the attention of the world around you so that it can grow and fit. So each time you deliver something anywhere in the world, even to yourself, it has to have a full story, and the full story includes all the new data that comes with your new gift. Because each time you even say a word that you're used to, it is a new expression of something in your life. It's not an expression of something old in your life. Because you're on that wave, well above the elevated platform of living, having the time of your life and not even interested in what's in the wave. But your description of the overall brilliance of that wave changes the nature of everything that's in it. You don't describe it as a big bunch of turmoil. You describe it as a beautiful wave. It supports you and holds you up. And it's made up of everything you've ever known, everything you've not known, and everything that's going to probably crash on you one day. When you get to the end of one wave, you take the consequences because there's another good wave coming. And you might have to work really hard and struggle in that turmoil, but it doesn't have the essence of turmoil. It has the essence of a new beginning. So in this new beginning that we get at the end of each movement of waves, of events, of character movement, and excitement about our expression, we have something new ready to flow into our path that we know about. And we know it's a wave of some sort. We know it could be a little one with lots of power or monstrous to the extent if you don't get on top of it, it's going to crash on you. That's the excitement of life in the physical world. But if you take that from other dimensions, you can actually sneak out beyond the experience and have a look what's coming. And then it's a greater excitement. You can actually get off the wave a little earlier and not be crashed by the consequences. Because you can experience more than what you think you can. It's really a great advantage to search everywhere and see what's coming. Don't get off the wave unless you have to, but know all the options, and the options don't show themselves in the physical world. They show themselves from your parallel world, from your dreams, from your interactions with people, and the resulting feelings from it. And if you get objectionable reactions, you'll find you've climbed on the wrong wave and it's not going to support you. Each one of us transmits something for someone else. And it doesn't have to be given to anyone. It's just transmitting all the time. It's like the beacon where you're coming into shore, you need to know where the channel is. You can come into shore whichever way you like, but if you know where the channel is, you're going to have a good ride and you're going to have a good ending. But if you come in where there's no channel, you're not going to have a good ending. This is exactly the same with everything you do in life. Don't stop what you're doing. Get outside and look from all angles. Not from the physical. We're multi-dimensional beings. We can do more than one thing at a time. When you focus in the physical, you don't think you can. When your focus is nowhere, but includes everywhere, you know you can. And it brings to you an ability that you never even have to explain to yourself or anyone else. You just all of a sudden feel safe, comfortable, and secure because you have all the data. I don't know if you've ever tried to go on a trip at an amusement park and they don't tell you what's going to happen. You don't have all the information, and the first thing that happens, it turns sharp and you almost die because you don't have enough information. And you go through the whole thing experiencing this and you say to yourself, I'm never going on that again. But when one of the kids wants to go on, you realize that you have to tell them it's going to turn sharp, it's going to go up and down. I'll tell you when, or you can experience it yourself. And so the next time you go on it, you have all the data. You have all the information. It's easy. It's actually quite good. Sometimes thrilling, but not in the same way as when you don't have all the data. We have all the data. We have the commitment to pass that data on through transmission or otherwise to the rest of the world, just like you pass it on to your child. So there's no fear involved and everybody's happy to enjoy the experience with the knowledge that they need to enjoy the experience. So when we move forward each day, we can change everybody's life by so many different means, it's unbelievable. By a single movement, by a single reaction, by just looking from another place, by not being concerned about anybody but the other person. And that concern is not one of panic, it's not one of pressure, it's concern to enhance their life in any way you can. And it's not to satisfy their needs or their wants, it's to enhance their life, which may mean not giving them what they want, but enhancing their life. The brilliance of what we're about to do next is what we're all excited about. And all the things that we spoke about years back about having to do something about everybody's finance seems to be happening in a small way, but it seems to be happening. We're not so concerned about not having anymore, and we're starting to see the possibility that we don't have to do what we thought we had to do. One of the things that is really clear when you're working from a level of magic and miracles is the inherent, I suppose you'd call it, certainty that comes with the possibility of magic and miracles. And once that certainty grows, into the physical thing called confidence, it all works. And you get directed to do totally different things because of that confidence. We come here each week to display that confidence, just like they open the financial markets every day to display the confidence in the market. Because that is what determines the value. Throughout all the nations, there's no value unless there's confidence. Throughout all magic and miracles, there's no miracles unless there's certainty. So that's the common phase, certainty and confidence, that pulls the two worlds together. They're all based on us. So all the calculations, all the manipulations, all fictitious without us. So the confidence produces finance. The confidence and certainty produces miracles. And if you look at the size of what we produce in the world financially because of confidence, you shake your head and say, how did that happen? It happened because of our general confidence. And you say, well, I didn't know anything about it. But you do, because you spend the money every day, you feel good, you like what's being advertised, things are being produced all the time, and that gives confidence to the financial flow. And remember, it's a flow. So in Magic and Miracles, it's the flow. In assisting one another, it's the flow. And that flow doesn't need much. You can push $10 around 50 people, one after the other, and their life will change. They can use the $10, they might make $12 out of it and pass the $10 on again. They got $2 out of nowhere, based on confidence. Based on the confidence that their skills are worth something. Not measurable by anything else, but the confidence that comes from outside this world, which comes from your origin. The fact that you're totally stable, feeling fully supported, with access to every world and every space. You have all the data. Therefore, you have total confidence. In that, we're probably now in a position where we can all work together. Not in the way that you see happening with community or otherwise. We work together based on that hidden communication that makes us all aware that something is needed, so we do it. We make it. We build it. We promote it. We enhance it, and we build its confidence. And in that, it builds the confidence within each person. So we're about to put together a few things to do that. But everybody thinks, now that'll be a plan. But each time we do something, it changes. And you can start to do a plan, you can start to put things together, and all of a sudden, it changes direction. But the end result is exactly what you're after. Suddenly, out of nowhere, people look better, feel better. They're managing. They don't even look in their pocket to see whether they've got money. They find a way. And the old approach to everything used to be, if you don't have enough money, go and get some. But now it's, you've got enough money. It'll turn up when you need it. You'll find that you'll get a job, or you'll trade something, or something will move, and it'll just keep flowing in and out. And the chances are you won't have to do any of the things you thought you had to do. And I'd say probably most certainly, as soon as we make a plan, all it does is gives you the opportunity to find out you were wrong. So you just continue until you don't get, whoop, that's not going to work signal. And you continue to struggle with things until the message comes, stop it. You don't have to struggle, just wait for a few seconds, you'll get the correct signal. And so you sit down, have a beer, go out, go to the beach, and you come back and you just do the damn thing that you were trying to figure out. And you don't even know how you figured it out. So that's where we get to space and time. We're the masters of space and time. And we just adjust it as we need. Each time we don't want to be here, we just skip off to somewhere else. Each time we need more time, we forget it. And it gets done in 0 time. All the work that you think you've got to put in to produce something disappears into a few seconds. It may have been a week's work. It happens to us all the time now. So as that mastery comes into this part of the world that you're growing, it has to get bigger. It has to be able to accept the impossible, and it has to be able to accept what it can't see. And that's not you, and that's not convincing anybody, and that's not writing a set of rules or having a company that is brilliant, or it's just how it is. So once we get together, we can actually not just change the world, change any specific thing we want. And we don't have to organize anything. We don't even have to mention it. And it's not really an intention, it's a communication that's happening without us bringing it into the awareness that we're using in this world. We all know the extent of the force that's happening right now, that we're pushing through something and we've got no idea what it is, but we know we're not going to back off. Not for 1 second. And as soon as you feel that, the hairs stand up and you can feel yourself going, no way am I backing off. Whatever force is there is done. Hasn't got a chance. And we're coming out the side of this big wave, shooting out in front. So far we can turn around on the board and laugh at it. And that's the biggest part of the message from everywhere in the universe right now. That is the enormous strength that is shown by a mother when she says, no one will touch my child. And there are no rules. There's just an enormous power that will turn a lion away. This is what we all have, and this is what we're all demonstrating in this moment. Because it's necessary for us to take a new outlook on not only the world, but on everything in it. So that mastery comes into play, and the artistic part of us comes forward, and everything we touch, everything we look at, sparkles with magic, shows itself beyond what it actually is, and takes with it all the perfection that we offer. And because it is so encompassing, things like discomfort, illness, tragedy, all those things are not going to be able to survive, because we're not giving up. We're taking this totally beyond everything, beyond technology, to where we know everything in every world is totally available in the space that we call our world, that extends well beyond Earth, but allows us to demonstrate it on the stage of Earth. We spoke about that before, but you cannot forget it. You wait until we start to actually perform. Every one of us has talents that we've been told are not as good as those that are published. Rubbish. Everyone has brilliant talents. We just don't have the world that's big enough to allow us to express them. And that's why we have to grow this physical world bigger, brighter, more vibrant, more capable of allowing us to extend ourselves and demonstrate the huge abilities that at the moment we have to keep quiet about because it disturbs everyone. The greatest part of you that's not expressed is not expressed because the world has been shrunk down to where the only thing that can fit is the bit you can see in the mirror. So one of the many things that we've had lots of discussions about is, where does somebody actually go to just to sing and be stupid? Where does anybody go to dance and not have to get dressed up and have a band? Where does anybody go just to be crazy? These things we have to provide for. The enormous benefit of our skills is that we can make all these spaces available in the space that's here. Because we can play with dimensions. We can put ourselves in a dimension that doesn't disturb anyone. We can put other people in a dimension where they won't get disturbed. So if out of 50 people, one didn't want to be disturbed, you just put a protection around it, it's not protection, a dimension around them, so that their environment is not disturbed. And if you want to, you can do it to 5,000 people, all individually. But you don't lock yourself in so that you can't express. So it's all been the wrong way around. It's all been lock yourself in so that you don't disturb anybody. But when you want to actually be flamboyant, to bring your gifts to everyone, to spend an absolute fortune on everyone around you because that's what you want to do, you can't even bring in the facilities because you put yourself in the box that says don't come out of here, you might disturb everyone. So let's reverse that, live outside the box, and anybody who wants to go in the box can go in there free of charge. Then our life will move. We have that ability. The next thing is to realize that you've already just started that. I only have to bring it up, boom, it's on. There is no time lag with anything. There's only subtle reminders, little bursts of authority that says, of course you can. You go, oh, okay, boom. And you only need one person to say that, anybody. I'm going to jump off the roof. Yeah, if you like. Boom, gone. And you'll be okay. It's amazing. We are beyond our own belief. And the elements of safety are only in that limited world because we didn't allow it to expand far enough to where our dimensions that support us, even if we jump off the roof, are active. So big exercise ahead to make this world expand to where it can match ours. As we don't contemplate that, as we live that, we're going to take a little break and we'll come back and experiment with a few things that'll help you realize that what you know is correct. Okay, see you in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. When we talk about expanding our world, the human part of us wants to come back to what we know. So one of the things that help is the introduction of facilities that help us feel the universal energies. And with the wands, the nano wands and nano-coated materials, GANs, and all the stuff that Keshe Foundation has brought into reality, we can develop whatever we want to maintain the vibration that we feel suits us as universal beings. And once that happens, you find that you're not coming back to comparison of what you can and can't do. The more you get used to this complete access to the universal energies, the more you access the higher planes of every world and society in the universe. And once you get the feeling of that, you know that things are available in other places, so why aren't they available here? You start to bring into your world what you know is available in other worlds, other planets, and places beyond where we've ever recorded. They're in our field instantly. And like I've said many times, it's only a matter of sitting with the master to find out how to play the best piano concerto of all times. It's not the practice at home, it's the exposure to the master who can do it. Right down to riding a bicycle. You hang out with the people who can do all the tricks, then you'll be able to do the tricks. It's not in the data that's provided through our systems of the world. It's in the data that we transmit to one another. So as you expose yourself to the transmissions of other places, because you have something to amplify and accelerate, just sitting in your house, just sitting in somebody else's house, or in your pocket, or any way at all, you will start to grow the world around you and everything in it to the extent that people will be amazed. You don't seem to be doing anything, but everything's happening around you. You don't seem to be any different to what you were, but wow, your eyes are shiny, your smile is brilliant, you're standing tall, you're walking with confidence, and you're producing magic and miracles without any training at all. So we have the opportunity for each one of us to talk about these things so that we can find out not how anybody else did something, but how we can do it ourselves, or we can get somebody who's sensitive enough to do it exactly the way you feel it should be done. And so you'll all start to build nano-coded formats for one another. just like we do various versions of wands depending on who really needs them, or whether we're connected to that person in such a way that we know. We build beacons that I developed that hold a movement of plasma, and they actually release the plasma in a field that would normally not be released, because we're all made of plasma, and so is a lot of other things. Most of the world's made of plasma. But free plasma gives you the feeling of the universe. It enables you to do things outside the blueprint of your body. And it actually allows your body to upgrade to whatever it feels it should upgrade to. And never pushes you, it just facilitates free plasma. And then we're working with the actual power units, the plasma power units that it's called MagRav, that the Keshe Foundation produced and gave us all the details. But once again, each one of them is different because they're hand-built. It's not a production line thing yet. The Keshe Foundation is attempting to do a production line unit. But once again, without your input, it doesn't work properly. Without your ability to hold the correct intention in your field, not intention in your brain, the whole thing doesn't work. But right now we're probably 80%, maybe 90% through our first unit. And all we want to do is make sure that we know exactly what we're doing and how to do it, so it will be all transmitted to everyone. Not in the form of a PDF file or anything like that. In the form of, we'll transmit the whole lot to you. You start, you try, you might ask some questions, you'll get answers. But you'll produce whatever you need, or you'll buy whatever you need. But once we've experienced it and expressed it, and we've got the house working off it, you'll all be able to do the same. And then as each person who is connected to similar people does the same thing, you'll get assistance, but you'll be bringing your own skills into this world. And therefore you have to make the world grow to accept it. Wow. Who would have thought 6 months ago that we'd decide to make plasma power supplies that can run your house, electricity? Who would have thought we'd been making things that assist us to heal? You know, how many times have we used a little wand to repair things? I actually used, I melted the other day and decided I'd take a wand for myself because it was just talking to me. And the funny thing that's happened is I normally coat them with an acrylic so that you're not touching any of the materials, and I capped the end with a glue. Within 4 days it all fell off. I do those things. And it might happen to everybody else, but it hasn't happened a lot. But I've been able to use that wand for lots of little things. I had the start of a cold sore yesterday. I just pulled the wand out and got in front of the mirror and held it there. Said, watch, and I watched it go down. So there's minor things that you can do for yourself to make you feel comfortable. And there are other things where you feel, I just need the wand on me. You'd be walking around and go, whoa, where's my wand? And it's usually in the pocket of the shirt you just took off or something like that, or beside your bed. But they also disappear. I've got a few people who lose them, but they don't. It's not just losing, they disappear. I was working with some, and one fell off the bench. It's gone. We've searched everywhere. So they've got this little game playing as well. So as you start to do things, you'll get some unusual experiences. Barbara had a cracked heel, so we nano-coated a piece of very fine copper and put it between two socks. And the cracks were really, really bad and bleeding. Within 2 evenings, each wore 2 evenings, it starts to heal from the inside. Where you can see the flesh, it's got skin in there, and then it starts to close up from the inside and it's just disappearing. Not like any scab or anything, nothing, it's just regrowing. So there's a lot of good things that we're all experiencing that you should play with. And it's all over the internet, YouTube's, lots of things. You don't have to follow it, you have to be aware of it, because it's a natural part of our moving forward to expand this world to accept our monstrous but elegant being. When we step further past this, each one of us will start to make things that come to us, and it won't necessarily be of the material that we're used to. Some of the features of simple stuff we cook with are so powerful that you can make anything. Some of the talent that you show in artistic shapes and drawings and photographs and presentations are more powerful than the damn power station, because they change life. They affect the outcome of so many things. And the brilliance that each one of you have in presenting into the formats that have been provided for you in the world, like Facebook and all those things, is amazing. But it's being captured in a box again. That talent needs to be out there, not captured. This is where the freedom of each one of us to express our talent has been taken and directed into a hole. We all have to keep doing it, but it's just going into a big hole. It's not, this part of the world and all the things we've got in it are not big enough for us. We have to expand it. We have to put on live shows. We have to go back to having dances, to having open gatherings where people can just turn up and pay a minimum fee and the artist can live, instead of it having to go through the box and be of this format and end up on the TV. So as we expand it, we don't go back, we just see what was that worked and make it better by 1,000 times. Use our skills of promotion of photographs, of pictures, of art, of voice, everything, to produce a new arena for us to live in. A totally new arena. And you all know what that's like. That's like the biggest show on earth, happening every day, everywhere. And you love to see it happen when it's choreographed. But what about when it's not choreographed? And it's done under the unique control of the Creator. Then you'll see why you're here. The greatest choreographer of all times, sitting in our midst with all the staff floating around where we can't see them. They're running in and off the stage and you can't see them. They're directing us, they're pushing chairs out the road, they're making things happen, but the stage is too small. So see beyond what you see. Look from afar. Know that this world can expand to that perfect world that's above the wave of our elevated platform of living. Since we started all this, I don't know how many months ago, we've moved forward, but never in the direction that we ever thought. Each week is different. Each approach is different. The flies are different. They come from all different angles. And everything around us is moving to a harmony that we decided we would follow. So as we follow our spirit, it goes to where we've never been before. And now we're going past that again. So look forward to some brilliant times and massive expansion of this world that we actually hold the confidence of. Remember, the financial system works on confidence. Magic and miracles are totally attached to confidence. And that's a word that we can now use because we stretched it. And we know that it's nothing to do with how it used to be said. It is the elegance of the commonality between the world of magic and miracles and the world that we are stretching to accommodate our special beings. So stay with that and enjoy lots of magic, lots of miracles, and a brilliant future in all the energies that come from nowhere. Thank you, and we'll see you again next week.